Welcome back, students. This is the fourth installment of using Autodesk Inventor Professional 2018. And in this segment, I'm going to teach you how to make the side of the pegboard and then place all of the parts in a folder so that you can then assemble the base and the sides and the pegs. So first step, as I've been saying, when you open this up, you're going to see maybe you've started getting these parts, this cylinder, the square peg, the triangle peg, the base. But I just click X up here and close all that. I already know I have all that. Click. Then I'm going to create the side. Click New. Standard IPT. Create. I'm creating another part. And as I tried to show in a previous video, what I like to do is maybe squeeze this in from the left side and pull over this internal frame here so that I get the rotation cube. And now I start 2D sketch up here in the upper left. And then click on the XY plane as I always do. And in this case, what I'm going to do is start to make a rectangle. And I just happen to know from memory the size of the side of the pegboard toy is 6 inches. Actually, I think it is 6.75. Thank you. 6.75. So what I'm going to do, and I can see this measurement, the 0.159 inches, that's the measurement at the bottom. That's supposed to be 0.75. So I'm going to type that in, 0.75, enter, and then I can use the dimension tool here to make the block 6.75 tall. And then I'm going to zoom out. You can see another technique you can use also, if you remember, you can hit escape. And now you can grab these lines sometimes and just move things into position where you want them. I mean, you can either work in the quadrant 1 or you can work in whichever quadrant you so choose. I just prefer to work in quadrant 1, I guess. So at this point, I need to have a cutout. And remember, you're zooming in and out with your mouse wheel. I'm going to use another little small rectangle, and the measurements here are 0.375 tab 0.75, enter. All right, and then the measurement from the top to this top of this little cut will be 3 inches. And that means from bottom to bottom here would be 3 inches. So there's also a trim tool. What you can do with the trim tool is just go over here, and as you can see, you can click right on this line. I'm gonna have to click twice apparently. Oh, so I got a pop-up there. It just says the curve being extended, trimmed, has a dimension. What I have to do to get rid of this line is right-click and delete the dimension. Right-click, delete the dimension, then go to the trim tool and select, and it's telling me again. So in this point, right-click here, hit escape, right-click, delete. Now try it again. Trim, trim. There we go. All right. You can put the dimensions back if you want. Just click, click, check, click, click, check. You can, or you don't need to. So at this point, I'm just going to finish sketch and extrude 5 inches. So just put a 5 there on this pop-up window, and there's your side. So this will be used in conjunction with the base and in conjunction with the pegs to make the pegboard. And the only thing we'll need to do then after that is make a mallet. So first, I'm going to save this. So at this point, I'm going to save. I move up to the upper left where I see File, Save As, and just call this Side. It's being saved into my Downloads folder. I click Save, and that piece is done. So now I want to point out, whenever you're going to assemble these pieces, all of the parts and pieces need to be in one folder here on your Windows system. So my preference is just to go to the File Explorer down at the bottom. It looks like a little yellow folder. Select it, and then pick, you can even put it in documents. Just go in downloads, right click, new folder, and I'm going to call this folder Pegboard project. Now that I have Pegboard project, I can just take my pieces, the round peg, and put it in there. The square cube, put it in there. The triangle peg, put it in there. The pegboard base, put it in there. The side, put it in there. Now I have all of the pieces to assemble in one folder. So I'm going to close this, and now we're going to use a new thing called New Standard IAM, Inventor Assembly Model, Standard IAM. So I'm going to click Standard IAM and create. And I'm going to want to place, not from Content Center, I select and just use the place button. So up here, click place, and then return to your downloads folder and find Pegboard project. You need to know where your project is. And as you can see, all of my pieces are in one folder. So I'll start by placing the base first. Click Pegboard base and then open. And there we go. First piece is in. And you can just hit escape, and then that will allow you to place a second piece. So click place, side, open. And what I'm going to do with this is click it a second time here. Click. So now I have two sides. Hit escape. And now I'm going to place triangle peg. You can place it once, place it twice, and I'm also going to place round peg. Remember, click, and then hit escape. And then finally place square cube or square peg. Hit that twice and hit escape. Now we can assemble. So the constraint tool is where we assemble. And if you look up here, what I want you to do on the pegboard base is see the pegboard base, when you place it, it is locked flush and flat with your rotation cube. And you don't want that main piece to move, so that you can always have your first piece locked to the front of your, or to the squared up with your rotation cube. So you can right click on it and select grounded. Now this very first piece, and you'll see there's a pen over here on the left. This is called the browser, and these are all your parts and pieces. Here it is on the left. That is pinned and it won't move, that first piece. And now I can use a constraint tool, and there are two different options here. There's the mate tool, where you're mating opposite faces, or there's the flush tool, where you can flush two pieces flush. Okay, I'll demonstrate both during this process. So in this case, what I want to do, I'm zooming in with my mouse, I want to select this face, and then you can see how it turned blue. The blue is glue. And then you can select a face here, and it will glue this face to the top of this base. And as you can see, it's the side that moved because it is not pinned. Side one moved, it is not pinned. And also you're going to want to select, you're going to want to mate this. Oh, actually after each trial you want to apply. And now I'm going to select this face, and I can rotate it around and select and mate it to this face here and apply. And then finally, I'm going to use the flush tool here, flush, so I can flush this up to this and apply. And now that will not go anywhere. And you can, again, remember, if you use this rotation cube, you can square everything up, verify that it's, flush. Okay, so the next thing to do, I'm going to redo the process again. Go to the constraint tool, use solution 1, which is the mate, I can even go a different route. I can select the back of this groove, click, select the end of this base piece here, and apply. Now I can select this surface here and the top of this face here and apply. And then I go to the flush tool, select the end here and the end here and apply, and then square it up and see that my pegboard is assembled. So I'm going to try to insert the triangle pegs into the triangle openings. So I'm going to click here. I should be able to mate to this. Apply. And this to here. Apply. And now my first peg is locked into position. And you could move it up and down. See, it slides up and down, but it won't move out of the hole. All right. So each time I hit escape, I go back to constrain, click the flush tool. I want to select this surface and mate it to here. Apply. Then I want to select this surface and rotate it to where I can see the surface that I'm looking for. Maybe challenging at first to practice. So that's why you're practicing. I'm going to mate it to this. Apply. And again, you can hit escape if you so choose. This. And it should move up and down in the spot. Okay. The circle peg is more simple. You can use the insert tool. It looks like a screw going into a hole here. Select and select. When you see a ring and an axis, that's when you select. That's a blue glue ring, and you can select and mate it right to this blue glue ring. Now, if you want it to move up and down, in this case, you're going to need to put an offset. And you can try flipping it just by clicking these different tools. See, it just flips it upside down. And then here, like I want to put an offset of like an inch and then apply. Actually going to go -1, -1. So it moves up, apply. All right, try it again. So I'm in the insert tool. You find that ring, select here, and then maybe a -0.5. I'm trying to make things aesthetically pleasing. And then finally, go back to the constraint tool, mate. I'm going to select here and any one of these surfaces here. Apply. If you hit escape, you can move this around still. Constrain, mate. I'm going to select here and here. Apply. Now it won't move, but it will move up and down. See? And finally, you can select constrain, mate. Let's say this surface. Start here. Apply. I usually escape. I move it off to the side, open the constraint tool again, hit mate, hit this surface, rotate, hit this surface, and apply. And there I am. There is my completed and assembled pegboard assembly. So now I select File, Save As. I'm going to call it Pegboard Assembly, and I'm going to save it in my Pegboard project folder. Save. And if you get this far, you can always go File, Export, Image as a PNG. It's going to be going into my Downloads folder. And let's go back and verify that that image is in my Downloads folder. There it is. That's the image you're going to want to turn in for assignment credit.